I'm Brendan Vanahan of The Internationalist. As a company, we focus on connecting the people and ideas in marketing worldwide through content, intelligence, thought leadership, and collaboration on a number of platforms. Our research division, Internationalist Insights, focuses on select topics and emerging trends of interest to marketers. Insights surveys were developed to quickly interpret global marketing trends at scale by surveying the Internationalist worldwide audience, combined with in-depth personal interviews with individuals we have honored for their marketing contributions. Interpretation of these results and perspectives are by seasoned executives dedicated to a big picture view of how contemporary marketing is changing business strategy. These results also help to shape the Internationalist content, think tanks, and initiatives around marketers' core concerns. In January, we asked marketers to share their thoughts on the future of business travel, with some very interesting results, as well as an outpouring of responses and comments. I'd like to introduce Deborah Malone, founder of The Internationalist, to discuss some of the survey results and their implications for marketers. Welcome, Deborah.
Thanks, Brendan. It's a pleasure to talk about such an interesting topic, particularly now.
Before we get into travel specifics, would you give a quick overview?
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to. I think that we're certainly well aware that the potential for business travel and in-person meetings has been on everyone's mind since the start of the year and news of a COVID vaccine. And while hybrid may be the optimistic event buzzword for late spring, as large-scale summits and conferences like the Cannes Ad Festival, for example, plan to go both online and in person, the latest Internationalist Insights survey shows that almost 1/3 of marketers, that's 32%, stated that they're making plans to attend industry events later in the year. Most marketers, though, are cautious about exchanging video conferences and screen sharing for plane and hotel reservations in the coming year.
Do they have health concerns in terms of waiting for a vaccine, or are they limited in large part by company policy?
Well, it's a little of both, in addition to, let's call it, the benefits of technology. Our opening survey question asked people about their current plans for domestic travel in 2021. As a top choice, 41% of respondents agreed with the statement, "I prefer the efficiency of video meetings and plan to limit all unnecessary travel for now." The question allowed those answering to choose all relevant statements. Interestingly, 27% said that they would go to local meetings and events within driving or commuting distance, and 32% now say that they will attend specific business-related meetings that require air travel later in the year.
Did respondents talk about scaling back travel specifically?
Yeah, they did. As a matter of fact, in almost one quarter, 23% said that their travel budget had been scaled back this year, and 32% said their organization was restricting business travel in 2021 due specifically to health concerns. But there was another rather startling statistic. Now, let's not forget that as national economies shut down due to COVID-19, most multinational corporations established comprehensive restraints on travel with very high ceilings for exemptions. As a result, we found that only 4.5% of survey respondents expect to return to business travel as usual, which is defined as their level of work-related travel prior to the pandemic.
Yeah, that's remarkable. What do you think that means for the future of how we work?
Well, that's a very good question. Let's keep in mind that even as a customer-focused business discipline, marketing may not claim the same urgency as sales, for example, to resume face-to-face meetings immediately. That said, today's marketers, particularly those with global responsibilities, view interactions with diverse teams in multiple locations as a daily part of their jobs, given their work with agencies, consultants, partners, internal departments, and other corporate offices throughout the world. Yet the Internationalist survey respondents offered perceptive observations about the future of work and travel as it relates to a range of essential marketing elements, like sparking creativity with group brainstorming or driving innovation through whiteboard sessions, while also being realistic about budgets and how time is spent in a much changed, reprioritized world. It seems that a genuine balance is emerging about the value of more efficient video meetings combined with specific in-person ones. Several comments underscored how marketers view this new mix. The first comment said, "The quick, let's huddle at the table meetings are far more efficient live than video. Other meetings are just absolutely fine on video." Another comment, "It depends on the meeting. For initial kickoff meetings, I feel that in person is better for relationship building. For meetings where a relationship is already established, I think that video is fairly productive." Video meetings, another comment, video meetings are effective if relationships are established. They're more challenging for establishing new relationships.
So, as video meeting platforms continually improve, will business travel ever exceed pre-COVID levels?
Well, the marketers taking our mid-January survey certainly don't think so. Almost 70% of them said they believe that business travel will not exceed pre-COVID levels in the future. Here's an interesting fact. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, that's the WTTC, business travel represents 21.4% of the global travel and hospitality sector, or it certainly did at its height in 2019. This is defined as transient, meaning non-group short stay business travel, as well as MICE, or travel for meetings, incentives, conferences, and events, ranging from large group offsites to industry trade shows and exhibitions.
Leave it up to our industry to come up with a new expression. Now we have MICE. It's a whole different topic for another day. I'm surprised, to hear that, because that's less than a quarter of all travel now that you mention it.
Well, I was surprised as well that business travel was less than a quarter of all travel. The entire travel and tourism industry generated 10.3% of global GDP in 2019, along with 1 in 10 jobs around the world. However, business travel contributes disproportionately to airline and hotel profitability. Corporate travel fuels higher-priced refundable fares along with business and first-class tickets, whereas some hotels in key cities or convention locations rely almost entirely on business guests. Nonetheless, 52% of those surveyed expect to travel internationally for business after restrictions are lifted. Of course, the timeline for removing such limitations is not entirely clear yet.
That's interesting. What do you think this means for conferences?
Well, certainly conventions and trade shows are important networking opportunities, but I think what's happening now, though, is given the usual number of attendees, they're now, of course, considered high risk in a COVID world. However, as more of the population is vaccinated and both health and governmental restrictions are lifted, we will likely see some larger gatherings that also involve ongoing temperature checks, obligatory mask wearing, maybe even glove wearing, as well as 6-foot distancing throughout the entire event. In fact, this is now already happening in Asia, but I'm not sure how great it actually is for networking.
Well, when you have double and triple masking now and you have 6 feet mandatory separation, kind of hard to have a conversation, isn't it? I don't know where we're going with this, but were there any other surprises in the survey that we should be aware of?
Well, yeah, this one's kind of interesting. When the survey asked marketers if they were planning personal travel in 2021, that's vacations, family gatherings, weddings, etc., whether domestic or international, a resounding 70% said yes. The comments were particularly telling, such as, I haven't hugged my elderly mom or sisters since late 2019. For an individual, family considerations and quote-unquote mental health, or at least a desire to leave home for a while, outweighs corporate restrictions, whether for safety concerns or budget cutbacks.
If you're a travel marketer, that's some pent-up demand that it's going to be very interesting to see materialize. I hope it comes soon enough. Every category of business that we talk about is anticipating a great recovery, and I hope they're right. Well, that looks like a great place to end today's segment. If you're a listener, if you'd like to have more information about The Internationalist, please visit our website. That's theinternationalist.com. And please remember there's a hyphen between the and the Internationalist. The Internationalist Insight Survey provides a snapshot of views among the marketing community worldwide. The respondent base for this survey was truly international in nature, with 47.8% indicating that they have global responsibility for their brands. All regions of the world were represented by the survey participants. Those with responsibility for the Americas represented 30.4% of all respondents, EMEA 17.3%, and APAC 4.3%. So it's a good representation for the most part that responded to our survey. The Internationalist connects a global marketing audience through content, insights, case studies, and peer-to-peer marketer think tanks, awards, and summits, all to better serve the needs of our community. The Internationalist is especially proud of our Marketing Makes the World a Difference initiative and our decade-long global alliance with the ANA. Thank you very much for listening, and we look forward to working with you again. Bye-bye.